Hey, Mom. Hey, Linda. Linda, look at the two mallas together. I've got them, like, twined around each other over here. Hey, Michelle. I think I missed a name. I see 5 people, but I don't remember that many names. You're here. Hey, Rhonda. So I wanted to show you guys. It's just a little teeny miniature altar. Hey, Catherine. I make little collections through the house of things that I like. Because we're going to talk about rituals today. So these are little things that I use in my meditations or when I'm doing some specific prayers for people. It's just a little collection of rocks and these wooden balls remind me of the chakra colors and some oils and stuff and rocks and whatnot. So first of all, oh my gosh. Okay, so you're going to hear that really loud banging and thumping. If you're listening, Joy Activators, great description. So, Crystal's arriving today. Yay! Hey, Cynthia. So if you're listening with headphones, I know sound is louder on your end than mine, and we have construction workers here putting a deck on the outside of the house, because getting in and out of our house was actually dangerous. Yeah, I have multiple altars. I have little collections through the house, little clumps of different rocks and things that I consider sacred. There's a little, behind me, you can see 2 little polar bears. There's some little tiny rocks behind them. So just through the house are little, nice, very nice. So, let's do our reading and then, okay, good. I just worried that if someone's listening with headphones and they start hammering and drilling out there, that it's going to sound really loud. So I apologize for that. There's nowhere for me to get away from it because our house is so little. Going in the other room is meaningless because that's like 300 feet. Our house is 650 square feet, to give you an idea. So it's little. It's little. I don't have my business card with me, but I think it's just our regular people here today. It does look like a big hamburger bun. I think Catherine said that too. It looked like a loaf of rising bread. Yes, we continue with our practice regardless. And we're going to talk more about that too, because somebody asked me a question yesterday that got me started on my opinions on ritual. So yeah, we march on. We just have to have coffee, okay? Like, I could wing it without coffee, but I really don't ever want to be in that sort of dire situation. Okay, so let's go. Today's reading, my name's Michelle Wolf. If anyone jumps on here that doesn't know, or if anyone watches the replay, some random person that hasn't been here. We have about a dozen people that show up, and then a few more that tend to watch the replays more often. So anyway, just in case, my name is Michelle Wolf. You can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. I do a wide variety of things. Right, no kidding. That's a horrible thought. Across the top of my website is tabs for everything that I do. There's a lot of tabs, just so you know. And today we're reading from A Course in Miracles. Every day we read from A Course in Miracles, and we do our best to make it something we can practically use in our daily life. So we take it out of the book, into the world, and make it practical. Hi, Sin. So today's is from the Giant Book, Workbook, Section Part 2, Lesson number 296. Yesterday we talked about seeing with the eyes of God, or the Source. Today we talk about speaking with the voice of Source. So getting yourself connected to Source and Spirit, and getting yourself in that loving place where you have unconditional kindness to everyone, or as best you can. And then watching your words today, watching the things that you say. And I would say even more importantly than what's coming out of your mouth is what's going on in your head. What words are you speaking to yourself today? Because those can tend to be pretty harsh. That thumping is going to be a challenge. So here we go. That thumping is going to be a great exercise in overcoming obstacles for daily practice. Wink. Okay, the Holy Spirit speaks through me today. The Holy Spirit needs my voice today, that all the world may listen to your voice, yes, and hear your word through me. I am resolved to let you speak through me, for I would use no words but yours, and have no thoughts which are apart from yours, for only yours are true. I would be savior to the world that I've made. So I make this world, and I'm going to save myself from it. And by doing so, save others. For having damned it, the world, I would now set it free. I may find escape and hear the word your holy voice will speak to me today. So we teach today what we would learn, and that alone. And so our learning goal becomes unconflicted and easy to reach and easy to accomplish. Everything I say to you, I say to me. Everything I feel like I need to tell somebody else, I really need to tell it to me first. Then I can share it with other people. But if I'm wanting to tell you what to do, that's a message for me more than it is for you. Because typically we don't hear when other people are telling us what to do anyway. We tend to discount it unless we're really primed and ready for it. We tend to just kind of blow that off. So be careful when you're wanting to tell, or not careful, but aware that when you have a strong urge to fix someone else, that's information for you. That urge is a valid urge. Where it's being directed may or may not be particularly efficient. How gladly does the Holy Spirit come to rescue us from hell when we allow His teaching to persuade the world through us to seek and find the easy path through God. It's all of us, Linda. It's all of us. Don't bash yourself for that. Don't bash yourself for being a fixer. How else are we going to get the information? And you never know. Just don't be attached. I mean, it's going to be typically hurtful if you attach to what people do with your advice, whether it's solicited or unsolicited advice. Maybe they take it, maybe they don't. And if you worry about whether they take it or don't, you can get yourself tangled up. So when you're wanting to speak something to someone else today, flip that around and speak it to yourself. Yeah, no attachment. You can share information like Periscope. We share information. We don't have any idea who's going to see it or what they're going to do with it. That's the beauty of it. It really makes you experience sharing information with no attachment to the outcome, if you use it that way. I mean, I could get attached to this little number right here, which, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. My job is to share it, and whoever runs across it and benefits from it, awesome. But I really don't have any control over it. So, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, besides getting in a place of connection to Source and using that to guide your words today, letting Source speak through you is an amazing experience. Going into the day and saying, you know what? Source, God, whatever, speak through me and bring somebody joy today with my words. We can bring someone happiness today with our speech, including ourselves, or we can really hurt someone today with our speech. We have that choice. And if we think about the joy of being connected to Spirit and then speaking, that speech is entirely different than the stuff that generally just comes flying out of our mouth. So, all the things behind me here, including the coffee cup and all my little trinkets and stuff, when you want to tell something, turn it around and see how you need to hear it. Yes. There's value in, if you're really compelled, and by compelled I mean it's not a passing thought, you really feel a strong urge to tell somebody something, before you do, ask if they want to hear it. But even before that, Sorry guys, my knee is like, I have gas pedal knee today. It really hurts. First of all, flip that around and see if it's something you need to hear. Second of all, before you give that information to someone, ask if they want to hear it. You'll save yourself time and trouble if you just ask first, because maybe they already know it. Or maybe they don't want any advice at the moment. Reiki, yes, I'll be doing, I've got oils on my knee today. I'll be doing Reiki, and this motivates me to get my ass off the sugar. Again. Okay, so coffee's a ritual, right? It's one we get really attached to, physically and mentally. If it was just caffeine, I could take a pill. I could take a caffeine pill and achieve the same goal, but it's not, right? It's making the coffee. It gets me ready for thinking clearly. It makes me feel like, okay, I'm awake and I got these plans for today and we're going to do our scope. And, it just starts the whole thing. It's the first ritual of the day. So ritual... Oh, no, not the same. It's not the same, right? So our bodies, these are just my rambling, not put together thoughts on ritual, because I just thought about this morning. So I apologize if it's a little tangential and roundabout. And please feel free to ask questions. Our bodies, our little animal parts of ourselves really enjoy ritual, okay? We like to have something to touch. This is the Saramala. I really like having this. This is the Lindamala, completely different. I really like having it. I really enjoy the sound of it. I really enjoy looking at them. I enjoy touching something when I'm praying, especially if I'm using a mantra. It's the physical properties of the coffee ritual that trigger those good feelings. Yes, because I have it paired to, my body associates coffee with conversation, hanging out with people and just talking, because I didn't even start really drinking coffee till I was in my 30s. And then I would meet people for coffee and we would talk about philosophy and stuff that I really enjoy, so I have like these deep associations with coffee, and I have an association with coffee that, it's weird, isn't it? But it's like something to do when you're talking with people. The problem, and these two, like these have become part of my daily ritual. These little things behind me, I have this whole little setup now. I had a setup outside, but now it's too cold, so now I've got to set up inside, this little ritual. But when I go take care of the twins, that ritual is blown. Entirely. So if I was dependent on a ritual to be able to, it's a social connection, yeah. So it's fun. It's like you meet with friends, you talk about stuff, you have something in your hand, it's delicious. So the problem can be is if you get dependent on ritual. So yeah, it's blown to bits, right? Okay, so there's no ritual with children. You can try to have your ritual, but your ritual better be chaos. If you make chaos your ritual, you're golden. It's lovely. Coffee's lovely. Yes, boom. Blown up. So we can run into problems with dependency on ritual. So you can find this with writers, especially, and with some sports players, where if they don't have their special pen or they don't have their special socks, their game is blown. When you tried to keep a certain ritual when your kids were babies, I'm guessing it didn't work. If we get... Y'all ended up miserable. If we get bound up in ritual, routine, ritual, yes, it can be religious. It can also be just the act of the little routine that I go through. I would call it a ritual because I'm feeling like, okay, no, they're the same. It's the meaning that you place on it. My morning ritual in my head, I'm trying to clear my thoughts and feelings out of the way. I'm asking God to speak through me. In the morning before I join this, I kind of fiddle around with this stuff. I try to focus on, I set all my outside worries and concerns to the side and make myself totally available for you. I used to do the same thing when I was practicing therapy. I would ask that whatever needs to be heard today come out my mouth. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, that's my intention, is that I be able to speak beyond my own limited human mind, if that makes sense. So a ritual is just something that you do every day with a goal in mind, a routine. You could call it whatever you want. If your intention is to make it something sacred, then it's going to have a different energy about it than how you make your coffee. But it's the same thing. Your body is used to things being done a certain way, and it responds then in a certain way. So like in desire mapping, I have my participants go through a relaxation ritual, really short, and then smell an oil to train their body to relax on command, so to speak, when they smell that oil then. So you're like pairing a behavior and a response, a stimulus and a response. You're taking control of that by purposefully training your body to do certain things. So I know in the mornings when I pick this book up, when I come over here to my little area, my body already starts to settle down and focus in, because I've been doing it since the end of August. Since July 1st for a daily ritual. So getting certain things together, my body starts to prepare for that experience. So I think that's when people who meditate can get into problems, when they have trained their body only to focus in a yoga studio at the end of a session, or in a particular chair, on a particular cushion, with particular objects around them. I think that happens when people go to church and that's the only time they feel connected to God. Then they're limited to only feeling connected to God sitting in a pew, listening to a preacher, holding a particular Bible. Like, we can ritualize ourselves to where we can't access that state of mind unless we have those things available. Is this making sense to you so far? So if I have to sit in a particular spot in a classroom, or I get rattled, or if I have to sit in a pew at church, or I can't feel connected to God, or if I have to have a particular mala, train yourself to do those things elsewhere. So we talk, you'll hear people talk into, it's totally okay to have those, Yes, I may abdicate responsibility. We pattern our brains without even realizing it. Absolutely. It's human nature, okay? We have rituals. Dogs have rituals. Our little, my husband distracted me. Our little dog, our shared dog, Buck, outside, has a very particular bedtime ritual now that he has a bed and a crocheted little blanket, and, he turns around, he roots his blanket up. Babies have rituals. It's normal. The problem can come is if you think the power's in the ritual, and it's not. The power's in your intention of the ritual. We go to church, if that's our thing, to strengthen our experience of feeling connected to community and God in the beginning. But we need to bring that home. We need to bring that to the grocery store. We need to bring that to standing in line at the Department of Motor Vehicles. We have to take it out of where we learn it into our daily lives. So that's what happens when people study A Course in Miracles, or they're studying the Bible, or they're studying a particular text that inspires them. It gets left in the book. It's not, the book is just the tool. The malas are just the tool. They're not giving me anything I don't already have. They're helping me access what's already here. So I have to be careful not to misplace the trigger, the tool, for the source. That can happen with people. We get around a certain person and we feel like extra awesome, and we feel like we're in love, or we feel like we're smarter or something. It's not. Then we become attached to that person because we think it's that person that makes us feel that way. It's not that person. That person's reflecting to you something you already have and bringing it up in your awareness. So when you're with a particular person and you feel so freaking awesome, that's you, honey. You get to keep that. You get to keep that. It's brought to your awareness. You take that with you, whether that person is ever in your life again or not. That's you. It's a trigger. It's a tool that brings something to your awareness. Yes, you can't leave. Don't leave it in the book. You can leave it in the book, but that's not what your intention is, right? If you're here, your intention is not to be a so-so spiritual practitioner, or you wouldn't keep showing up every day. If you notice, we have a pretty small group. There really aren't that many people that commit to something every day, and there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. It's just smaller out here on the, some teacher calls it the leading edge, Esther Hicks, I think. I knew a woman once who said that there's mountaintops and valleys. Your general average thinker is living in the valley. Your people who want more or something wildly different live on the mountaintops. And until Periscope, I think we had a pretty hard time reaching each other because you're shouting across a mountaintop. Right, it's wasted energy. What's the point of that? Why do I want to go to all the trouble to read this complicated book and then not do anything with it? But people do. We don't have to shout across the mountaintops anymore. We can connect this way. But it's still a small group. So when I was first learning to meditate, we got told a lot to meditate at shopping malls, at bus stops, in the car, to take that meditative state off the cushion, out of the classroom, and into the world. Now we connect in the clouds, cyberspace. Now we connect in the clouds. That's very poetic, Michelle. I like that. So, even the cards. I did have a good teacher. I did. I had two good teachers because a Tai Chi teacher that I learned from said the same thing. I had two really good teachers back then when I was first learning to meditate. So when something comes to us from outside, including these malas that Sarah's doing. So Sarah has set an intention to be available for that information. We've set intentions that we want to be as authentic and as whole as we possibly can, which means we're open to information coming to us wherever we can get it, whether that's Periscope or a random book, a piece of a song. We've said we want to be whole and we want to hear it. We've said we want to see it. We have blind spots as human beings. We don't give ourselves enough credit, or we beat ourselves up too much. And so we have to get that information from somewhere else. Hey, that's really loud. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hammering going on after I said screws.
Well, you might want to get out there and talk to them then. Honey, if you wanted screws and they're putting in nails, you need to... Whatever. Stop it. Just stop it. So, Sarah has said, I'm willing to be an open channel for what people need. Okay? So, when I was watching her make these people's malas, I was like, yeah, they're pretty. That's cool. That's awesome. It makes them so happy. It's totally great. And then I was like, whatever. I've got I've got a mala from Linda, which I love. I've got a mala from a Buddhist monastery, which I love. Right? So, so then I didn't see the scope of Sarah making this Simply Love mala. I didn't see it. I see her scopes all the time. I didn't see either one of them. And I didn't see the description when she posted it. I didn't even know it was posted. And I ran across the picture on Facebook and just about died. I just burst into tears. I thought it was mine, but then someone else on Facebook had spoken for it. And I was like, damn it. Okay, well, I was like, I can tap into that energy anyway, but I was still a mess. I was just bawling like a little kid. And, but I thought, well, I'm not getting it because somebody else has already spoken for it. So I was texting my mom and I was like, this is what I want. Something like this. I love all these pinks and I love the energy about it. And, but I'm heartbroken because it's already gone. Well, it wasn't already gone. Several people speak for the malas, but only one person ends up with it. So it's not even the issues that we talk about here are shared issues, right? So they're not peculiar to just me or just you. They're issues that we share. So the energy of this as she was making it is a shared issue of trying too hard and working too hard and things like that. And needing to just, step back and receive and be in, choose love more often. Yes. So I sent her a message and I was like, hey, just in case, is the mala actually gone? Because it was still available for sale on the website. And I was like, well, I'm not going to run in there and hurry click, add to cart, because I'm not going to snatch it out from somebody else. If they've already spoken for it, then it's not mine and I'll wait and I'll access that energy anyway. But it wasn't. The person who had spoken for it decided against it and let it go, and I got it, thanks, and my mom helped, obviously, with that. So that's how that happened. But what I wanted to add to that is this is a symbol. It's bringing something to my awareness. If I lost this tomorrow, God forbid, but if I did, or if it broke, or whatever, I wouldn't lose anything. Lots of people speak for something and you think it's taken, then you miss something important. Right. We need to ask. We need to also recognize we can tap into it too, whether we have something tangible in our hand or not. So if this goes away, and I think the power is contained in these stones, I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to lose my mojo. I'm going to think I can't accomplish anything because I'm going to mistakenly think that what's triggered in me by this tool actually lives in this tool, and it doesn't. It lives here. It was triggered into my awareness through Sarah's willingness to be a channel for information and transformative healing. What's that, Linda? What did you hear? About tools or things being triggered by tools? I'll show you. The worst line in a movie ever was, "You complete me." That is true. It hits me right in just above my sternum. So my where my sternum ends is right here. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. And I really do feel triggered into awareness of something incredibly deep that I can't even describe. And just like when I got Linda's, I did bawl a lot. There's just something about them, okay? There's just something about them. I'm not triggered by my mom's mala. That there is peace for one whose heart is open, and that I choose. Oh.
Yeah.
I choose Ease and Grace Through Choosing Love. It's actually pretty long. I have it written down somewhere, but what it brought home to me is that I need to choose love more often, because I can get caught up in striving, working too hard. Yeah, it's really sweet. It's really sweet. And it reminds me of what I have here that I'm not using as much as I could. Sarah's molescopes are healing to everyone. Yeah. Yes. So and we all have that ability. We all have the ability to say, she has said to God, or to Spirit, or to Source, or whatever you want to call it, I'm willing to be an open channel for you to act through me to help whoever needs it. I did. I watched this. I went back and watched the scopes. I saw you were there. But I'm not like emotionally triggered by yours or my mom's or any of the other ones that have been made. There was one other one that I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. But I wasn't like a basket case when I saw it. So that's the same as ritual. I never got into magic much, like magical rituals, because, yes, you were like part of the midwife team. Michelle, you're like there at the midwife team for bringing this into being. But we all have that ability to say, I'm willing to let you act through me to have an impact on the world and the people around me. Her willingness to be that open channel, to set her own ego and desires aside and be a pure open channel, is what allows these things to happen. So then it comes to me and triggers in me, shines a light on a blind spot. Okay, that's the same thing as the oracle cards, which I love oracle cards. I love the artwork. I love the different sizes. They're so cool. I use them almost every day. I try to bully my husband into using them. He doesn't, he does every now and then, but not so much. But I just love them. But they are a tool. They're a way to shine a light on your blind spots, because you can be shuffling them and rearrange them in a way, if you're open to it, that you're going to get information you need that you might not get any other way, especially if you're like practicing a lot by yourself. If you're pursuing your spiritual path alone, you need those tools to access information about your blind spots. Sometimes people will give it to you or they'll reflect it to you out in the world, but the oracle cards can be used in the same way. So it's not like, I guess what I'm saying is it's either all one or it's not. So it's not coming from outside of you in a sense that it's not you. Like, these are complicated concepts, or they can be. It's not something outside of you picking a card for you. It's you having an intention to be whole and allowing a greater part of yourself to get the information into your hand, whether it's through a card or a person or a song or a mala or whatever. So if you get bound up in ritual, it can be, self-care, love. Yes, it reminds me to take care of myself so that I can continue to provide for others. And I forget that. I have a tendency to work really hard, and I'll drive myself too hard sometimes and forget to take my own advice. Yes, it's you giving information to you. The tools are extensions of ourselves. So we can get... so then what happens if we forget that and we lose our tool? My mala breaks, or I don't have access to cards when I have a question. We can get dependent on those things and feel like, oh my gosh, now I can't get my information. But I absolutely can. I can ask for it to come in another way. I can say, I'm really struggling with an issue here, and I need some information. I've had books literally fall on me at the library or the bookstore and have the answer that I need. I've overheard a piece of a conversation in a coffee shop or somewhere that has the answer that I need. God reaches me and you, I believe, through whatever avenue he or she can find. I actually believe it's an it energy. I think we genderize it, but I don't believe it is a gender. That's just my opinion. When we are open to the answer, that old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When we're ready for information, when we've said, I want to know what my blind spots are, music. Yes, you hear something in a song, like there's a song playing you don't pay any attention to, or a melody or whatever, and you get it. That's you speaking to you. That's you being open to hearing from Spirit, the larger part of you. But if you don't have music, if you don't have a mala, or you don't have your tools of magic, if you're into magic, you still have access to that part of you that knows the answers already. That's where I feel like ritual can be a problem then. Rituals can be really good for training our bodies to settle down and do certain things. So we can do even so small as when I was in grad school, I had a professor that taught us, I don't know if you're familiar with neuro-linguistic programming, but you get yourself in a state of mind and then you do something that anchors that state of mind. So it's just pairing, again, it's just pairing a stimulus with a response, that whole thing. It's pairing a behavioral cue, like telling your dog to sit. You're telling your body this means relax. For us, it was, she got us into a state of relaxation, and then she said, grab your first two fingers so that if you get a client in front of you that's overwhelmingly emotional, you can remember that their emotions are theirs, ours are ours, and grab your two fingers and it will induce that state of relaxation. And it did, and it worked, and I still use it. And she did it with us several times because we need several times to learn a cue. So if you're a writer, you can't be as productive if you have to have a certain desk and a certain pencil and a certain piece of paper and a certain time to be able to access your ability to write. You should be able to write on a napkin at a bus stop. Yeah, he has to pattern himself to learn new movements. Yep, and you can take control of those processes and teach yourself a wide variety of tools. You don't have to sit on a meditation cushion and be in a yoga studio or be in a very quiet place to meditate. In fact, that's really a horrible way to learn. It's okay to start that way because you need the experience. Ritual is really helpful when you're learning what that state of mind feels like. Once you know what it feels like, find other ways to access it so that you're not bound up by a ritual. And you'll find people that are, if they don't have their ritual, they can't achieve that state of mind or that state of openness or that state of meditation. They feel like it's external. So, he took my book. Oh, it's right here. If I think I have to have this to access that state of feeling connected to Spirit and I lose this, I'm screwed. Some of the things I used to do, I no longer need. Right. I feel like at some point you outgrow that stuff because you start to understand it's all you. It's with you all the time. You've learned, in the beginning, you learn the state of mind and you use a lot of ritual so that you anchor in your body what feeling connected to God feels like for you. Then you learn to access that same state wherever you are. You take it out into the world, out of the book, into the world, out of the learning process into your daily life. That's the whole goal of these daily scopes, is to help you figure out practical ways to take it out of here and into life. So that can happen with people who do magic. It can. It doesn't have to. But you don't have to have particular candles and herbs and things to access that state. Some of the people you used to watch on YouTube to get me where I needed to go, you don't resonate with them anymore. Right. There will probably come a time that you won't resonate with Course in Miracles anymore, because you'll have anchored in your body enough that you'll just be doing it. When you're learning how to swim, you're thinking how to swim until one day you just swim. And you don't think about this arm, that arm, breathing timing. You aren't thinking anymore. You're just doing it, like learning a second language. You don't translate, how do I say bread in French? You just say bread in French, whatever that is, pan or whatever. I took French, but I don't remember much of it. Yeah, well, yeah, because there's always fine tuning, and we'll move on to other materials. Oh, thank you. I don't remember a lot of my French. I actually took French just to be able to... Oh, you're right. I think it's P-A-I-N, pan. Let's just say baguette. Does that make sense? So if a day, I can't imagine, other than being unconscious, why I couldn't scope on a day. But if I can't scope on a day, you can still get to this stuff by yourself. We're just triggering each other. Your questions trigger me. My interpretation of this information triggers more questions in you. It's a synergy. It really is. And I love it. I love this ritual that we've developed. But it's also just a tool and a community thing. Yesterday at the cemetery visit, I was wanting a sign from my grandma. Now you're wanting control. Oh, bless your heart. I agree. I love it when everyone's here, when our regular group is here to have coffee together. You didn't get one. Now, and how are you with that? Until... I love story time. It's story time with Michelle. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Thanks for the shares. I forget to say thank you, but I really do appreciate them. Suspense, I know we're all waiting. What happened? She wanted a sign and she didn't get one until... You were driving and on Pandora, totally out of genre. I've heard you mention music before, too. Music is a way that messages get to you, too, I think. Looks like Catherine. Until the next chapter. Oh, I will always love you came on. Oh, you're going to make me cry. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes. Yes. It doesn't happen when we demand it, right? We're like, I need a sign. And it doesn't happen. Yes, of course. Then it sneaks up on you. We have to get our mind out of the way, right? And relax. Then the information comes. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, and was it you that you said your mala gave you the information that you needed to go visit her grave? Oh, your heart is pounding. Bless you. Bless your heart. Bless your grandma. Yes. We need that stuff, right? So it's okay. It's okay. Just don't let it limit you. Don't let rituals limit you. Enjoy them. Use them. It's fun. If I feel restless and I feel like you can't get focused, I'll light a candle. Studied these concepts since 1970 and still finding fun new ways to understand more. Yeah. There's endless... Lots of traffic. There's endless ways to interpret and reinterpret and get new levels. And I guess the bottom line of bringing up ritual as all, like the scopes, is just to remind you that remember that a ritual is just a ritual. It's you doing the work. It's you accessing the energy. It's you doing all of it. And if you don't have your ritual, it's still available to you. And make sure you have a variety of ways to access the energy that you want so that you're never bound up. I'm glad you brought it up. I saw those pictures on Facebook. They were lovely. You guys share whatever stories you want to share. We all benefit from that. That's a beautiful story. Yes, absolutely. Always, always. Always share. This is your group. It belongs to all of us. I turned the camera on, but you guys make the magic. The magic. I think that's all I got. I just wanted to remind you that whether it's oracle cards or mala beads or a particular cushion or a magic pencil, it's you. It's all you. So don't put the power in the tool. The power is in you. I was looking for somewhere around here, up there on the shelf, I have a pencil that my sister brought me from New York. From the museum. Which one? Catherine, which museum was it? Metropolitan or something? Or this Metropolitan, right? From New York. From the Met. Yeah, I love that pencil. It's big. And so I take every pencil drawing I do, I put a little thing, a line, at least one line from that pencil from the Met because it's fun. It's a fun little ritual. But once that pencil's used up, I'm not going to feel that the drawing's incomplete without it. I just do it because I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Rituals can be fun. Yeah. Rituals are fun. They're not you. You don't have to have them. They're fun. Enjoy them. Recognize them for what they are. Oh, thanks. We should find some time to get to New York together. I haven't been. And there are things I want to do. And Heath would probably rather die than be dragged off to New York. So. Alrighty then. That's all I have for you today. So we started with speaking. Oh yeah, I want to go. Morgan's leaving. No, she's gone. Yeah, Morgan left this morning for Manhattan. When you win the lottery, we will all meet in New York. Actually, Ron, you're in Florida, so we probably want to meet on the beach. Yeah. So, that's all I got. So, watch what you say, speak with the voice of spirit today. I'd love to go to New York. I really would. I think it'd be awfully fun. And I think I'd need probably a month to rest up afterward from all that stimulation. Watch what you say to yourself. Watch what you say to others. Tell your spirit that you want to be the voice of it today. And just see what comes out. It's interesting what can come flying out of your mouth when you set that, when you give permission for the higher part of yourself to use your voice. I hide a bit afterward. Alternate gets recharged. I can only imagine. Yeah, I'm sure I'd be quite exhausted from all that stimulation. I mean, I can't even handle Costco. So, New York's going to be a challenge. Well, use this for what to say to your boys. Yes. Yes, before you talk to them, just kind of feel like you're opening up and say, I say this all the time, speak through me. Help me say what needs to be said. Help me hear what I need to hear. Just the willingness, I guess. The willingness. So, okay. I will, tomorrow, Saturday, try it and see what happens. It's an interesting experience when you're willing to step aside. But you have to give permission for that. You have to state a willingness to step aside and be an instrument. Whose prayer is it? Saint Augustine? Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Is it Saint Augustine? I can't remember. I really like that one, though. Being willing to be the instrument is what Sarah's doing with her mollusk. Well, hi, kitty. Pray for the words I need so that the person hears me. Yes. St. Francis, thank you. St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. And that prayer is actually really long. I had it written down for a long time because I want that. I want to be that. I'm willing to be that for whoever needs to hear it. And plus, it's a lot easier. If you let Spirit do the talking, it's a lot easier. When I do conferences now, I have a loose agenda, but then I ask that Spirit do the talking. So if there's other stuff, if there's somebody in the audience that needs to hear something, they get to hear it. I'm willing to be that spokesperson, so to speak. So, are you hovering?
No.
I've got one hovering. Love you all. I got to run too, so it must be about 10:45. So, I will. I'll be here in the morning, and then Sunday and Monday we'll be scoping from the twins' house. So we'll do the best we can on those days. Okay, love to you guys. Have a wonderful day. If something cool happens, be sure to tell us in the morning. Like if something comes flying out of your mouth today toward yourself or someone else. Are you laughing at me? He's laughing at me. The audience. Somebody's over here in the cheap seats. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. It's always an adventure. All right, love you guys. See you in the morning. Oh, yes, that's what I was saying before I was interrupted. If something cool comes flying out of your mouth tomorrow, be sure to share it with us tomorrow. I'd really love to hear what happens. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.